News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
The investigation into a grizzly bear mauling is underway. Good morning, everyone. Montana Morning for Wednesday, October the 5th, 2016. A little bit of rain in the area. Rained big time yesterday. We'll have more rain today. A 70% chance of rain, in fact, today all the way through tomorrow. Right now, we have 44 degrees in Missoula. Our newscast this morning, sponsored by Western States Cat, offering free local delivery from their stock of over 15,000 truck and equipment parts. Western States Cat, built for Montana. Over the weekend, Montana man Todd Orr was mauled by a grizzly bear twice in the Madison Valley, despite an attempt to use bear spray to fend off the attack. Fish, Wildlife and Parks Region 2 Public Information Officer Vivica Krauser says the attacks are under investigation now and that distance could have been a factor.
It's about getting lucky to spray at that ideal time and knowing when to do it. So if you have a bear that's approaching in that 30 to 50 foot range is really the ideal time, and this might have been just slightly closer. That might have affected it a bit. It also might have made enough of a difference that the attack wasn't a fatal one. It's so hard to tell for sure, but that bit of deterrent there in the situation might have really turned things in the favor of the man that was attacked.
Krauser also says the age of the bear spray may have been a factor and that bear spray canisters need to be replaced every 4 years. There is some uncertainty as well about whether the grizzly bear was behaving normally.
Was the bear exhibiting normal behavior or abnormal behavior? You know, it sounds like in a lot of ways it was normal on initial blush anyway, by looking at it being a sow with cubs and a protective sort of reaction. But the second attack is a little bit odd, and so that is something that we'll be looking at. And
Forest Service officials have temporarily closed trails in the area surrounding Bear Creek that leads into the Lee Metcalf Wilderness area. An audit says the Montana Department of Corrections is breaking the law by housing youth and adult offenders in the same facility and by contracting to send girl offenders to a youth prison in Idaho. The department's placing adults in both the Pine Hill Youth Correctional Facility for boys and the Riverside Facility for girls. The Legislative Audit Division report says state law prohibits the department from placing youths in facilities where adult offenders are carrying out their sentences. Montana girl offenders are now being sent to a prison in St. Anthony, Idaho. The audit says such contracts are allowed only when the youth prison population is over capacity and Montana's is not. DOC Director Mike Batista said the department's required to maximize resources if there was excess capacity at the two prisons. This week, the Missoula City Council passed yet another local ordinance, this time dealing with the issue of tourist homes, or BYBs. Missoula City Councilman John DeBari explains the types of rentals addressed by the ordinance.
If you were to rent out your house for 31 days, that's a long-term rental, and it does not meet this ordinance whatsoever. That would be just like if you were renting a house for 6 months, for instance, or for 5 years. Really what we're trying to address here is the renting of entire dwelling units for less than 30 days.
The new ordinance kicks in the first week of November and expands the area where tourist homes can be placed in nearly all zoning codes in the city, including all residential zoning districts and all but 2 industrial districts. However, it also requires tourist home owners to register their home with the city.
Folks who are operating tourist homes currently in residential areas could be complained against, essentially, and those tourist homes be shut down. But there could be 1-2 blocks over that doesn't get complained against and continues to operate. So the idea here was to be more even-handed in the way we address tourist homes in the community, recognize the fact that they're out there, they're providing a service in the community, they're integrated into neighborhoods, but put some sideboards on them.
Tourist homes such as Airbnb will have a first-time registration fee of $50, followed by a yearly updating fee of $25. Operators will only be allowed to run a maximum of 2 tourist homes at any given time. When the University of Montana released its fall enrollment numbers at the end of September, the prognosis was that enrollment had declined by 4.8%. U of M history professor Mirdad Kia says the numbers offered can be misleading and that a look at the number of students enrolled full-time is a better gauge of the situation. Kia argues that looking at full-time equivalent students paints a bleaker but more accurate picture.
We have 7,392 students. Last year this time, we had 8,035. That is a drop of 8%. That's a significant drop. In fall 2016, University of Montana has had 17 international students. That is a drop of nearly 30%.
Kia said his biggest concern is the Montana State University has replaced the University of Montana as the state's flagship school.
With 16,440 students. This is a university which was always second to University of Montana. And now, of course, it has the largest budget, it has the largest number of students, and it is really the largest workforce in the Montana University system.
Kia said the problem's been a failed recruitment system and says he's hopeful that Tom Crady, the new VP for enrollment, can turn the ship around. Montana's only 1 week left to register to vote through the mail. After that, they'll have to go into their local election office in person if they want to vote in November. Montana is one of only 12 states that does not allow online voter registration. Secretary of State Linda McCullough said that's a mistake.
They always claim there's fraud involved, but they pay their taxes online, they pay their bills online, they bank online, they do a number of things online, and online voter registration is really the safest.
In past elections, Native American activists have criticized Montana for not providing more access to voting in their communities. McCullough says that has been handled.
Last October, I directed all counties with Indian populations to set up early voting offices on reservations. So right now in Montana, we have 13 satellite offices across 10 counties to ensure that everyone gets the opportunity to vote.
Absentee ballots will be sent out October 14th. That must be received by the local elections office or polling place by 8 p.m. on Election Day. Our news talk time now is 6:11.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Patchy fog this morning, otherwise cloudy skies with a chance of showers. High temperatures will top out in the low 50s. Tonight, a few showers with their overnight lows in the upper 30s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.